Hey Chiefs Kingdom, Harrison Graham here from the Chiefs Report. I thought you might like this video that went up on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. You can go find more NFL videos on our Chat Sports YouTube channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv, in addition to the rest of our Chiefs videos.
What's going on? You're watching NFL Daily, Chris Jones Trade Destination video, and it's sponsored by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat where you're going to be able to save 20% off and get free shipping. It's an unbelievable gift for a dad out there. If you got a woman in your life or you want to keep that woman in your life, go to Chat Sport. Go to manscaped.com/chat. Save 20%. So Chris Jones is the guy we're talking about, Tom. Could he get traded?
It's at least a possibility, right? The update, in case you guys haven't seen this, is that Jones has threatened to hold out, not play for the Chiefs, if they don't give him $20+ million per year on his new contract extension, which is a fair ask out of Chris Jones. I think that is within reason and is within his value range. Now, that, of course, led to trade speculation, naturally.
Yep.
There are kind of some leverage back and forwardness here in terms of Chiefs could call his bluff. Like, if he holds out, they can tag him next year. It's not quite like a Lev Bell situation. But the Chiefs are going to have a better chance of winning a Super Bowl with Chris Jones on that team. Because Mitch, he is an awesome interior defensive lineman. Top 5, I think, pretty clearly in the NFL.
No, I think so. And I think anytime, like, I've heard some people say, oh, he had a bit of a down year. I mean, anytime a defensive tackle is honestly getting 9 sacks in the season, like, that's incredible. Sure, he didn't have 15.5 like he did in 2018, but you're looking at a very young player. He's going to be 26 years old, and I do think he's the type of player where that's one of the reasons why the Chiefs are as good at defense as they are. But he wants to get paid like this, and I honestly think he deserves to get paid like this.
And we've seen a defensive lineman of Chris Jones' caliber, if not as good, potentially maybe Jones a little bit better than DeForest Buckner, who went for a top 15 pick, and the Colts paid him big money. So maybe the actual value for Chris Jones is maybe it's a little bit like Jamal Adams.
You know a player that definitely uses Manscaped? Fletcher Cox. That one's a no-doubter. So who's worth more? Chris Jones, type CJ, or Jamal Adams? I want you to type JA. So scroll on down. Let us know in the comments section which player you think is worth more. Tom, what's your vote?
I think it's pretty even. You're kind of juggling a more impactful position in Chris Jones, who also gets paid more. So that's kind of the balancing act on that front. If I have to pick, though, between the top 5 safety or the top 5 interior pass rusher, probably going to pick Chris Jones, but I think you can go either way on this one.
It's time now to get into our top 6 teams that could go out and trade for Chris Jones. At number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville, I have a fun idea for this one that's a little bit out there, a little bit wild, but I wanted to at least try it. So, the Jags get Chris Jones, and they happily pay him $20 million or whatever. The Chiefs then get the Jags' disgruntled player, Yannick Ngakoue. They also get a 4th-round pick. I think Jones a little bit more valuable than Yannick. Again, just the interior versus edge rusher, so the 4th-round pick. Jags have plenty of picks over the next couple drafts. Evens it out just a little bit more. And maybe for Kansas City, they're like, yeah, you know what? Go to Jacksonville. We'll send you away. We don't have to worry about you coming back to bite us in the butt. I think Chiefs might have some interest there if they actually, of course, and I'll say this for the last time, if they really want to move on from Chris Jones.
So who says no? The Kansas City Chiefs, type K, or the Jacksonville Jaguars? I want you to type J. Chiefs Kingdom, if you're a Chiefs fan out there, go subscribe to our main Chiefs channel, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. We got a lot of people there. We got like over 5,000 subscribers. Harrison Graham does a great job. Go check it out. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Time now to get to another red team, the Arizona Cardinals, and they are simply looking for more pass rush help, and obviously Chris Jones would be great for that.
They've been linked to players like Everson Griffin. I think I've seen them thrown around for Yannick before. Chandler Jones, an elite edge rusher. Adding an interior elite pass rusher as well is pretty darn intriguing. Now, I kind of thought about getting crazy and throwing in a Patrick Peterson trade here. I'm not going to go that route. Instead, when it's kind of curious to me, I think you would throw Jordan Phillips more into the nose tackle role.
Okay.
Corey Peters kind of fades out of favor. Maybe you can try and move on from him. And all of a sudden, on in terms of like when you go 4 defensive guys, Jordan Phillips and Chris Jones and Chandler Jones and Devin Kennard's whatever, that's an intriguing option right there. So I think for the Cardinals side of it, That's certainly intriguing to me as a potential fit.
If you're a Cardinals fan, please go subscribe to our Cardinals-only channel, chatsports.com/CardinalsTV. So who exactly says no to Tom's trade idea? The Cardinals, they receive Chris Jones. The Chiefs, they receive a 2021 first-round pick, a 2021 sixth-round pick, and Hassan Reddick, which, honestly, I used to really like Hassan Reddick when he first came out of Temple. So give me a 1 for KC or a type 2 for Arizona. So I want you to reply to the pinned comment. Where will Chris Jones play in 2020? So scroll on down, and I want you to let us know. So for those of you watching this on YouTube, you might get hit with an ad break. While the ad is playing, scroll on down. Let us know, where will Chris Jones play in 2020? So other teams that didn't quite make the list here, Tom. You have the Miami Dolphins.
I really thought about Miami and Tampa. Those were the two that I was like, actually, they could totally make it work. I think Miami a little bit over Tampa. The Eagles love interior pass rushers, but I don't think they can make it. They just paid Hargrave and Cox. They got enough invested there. Denver, I think, makes a lot of sense in free agency.
Yep.
If and when Chris Jones gets there. And then I'm memeing here with the Giants because find someone who loves you like Dave Gettleman loves fat guys on the defensive line.
At number 4, Chris Jones trade destinations. We got the Cleveland Browns, and they got the money. They've shown some interest in the defensive line. I think this fit actually does make a lot of sense.
The tricky part here for Cleveland is that you almost have to include a defensive lineman in a trade, and I'm not sure if that gets them out of moving a first-round pick, or if it allows them to include just a second-round pick instead. I'm not sure on that. I kept it different, so we'll get to that trade idea in a second. You'd probably move Sheldon Richardson just from a pure money perspective. You can keep Jordan Elliott, keep Andrew Billings, you pay Sheldon Richardson. All of a sudden, Myles Garrett and Chris Jones together on a defensive line, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that is a very deadly 1-2 punch if you're the Browns. So I included Richardson in the trade, and I went with a second-round pick because as I went through, I'm trying to get to close to first-round value. I don't think the Browns would want to give their first-round pick because there's a chance they don't make the playoffs. That second-round pick might be top 50. Maybe you make it like a conditional pick where the Chiefs get something else if they do make the playoffs, potentially. But I didn't want to just do a bunch of first-round picks and other pieces because that's just the same trade over and over again. So I'm trying to give you guys different options for different teams and different insight into what a trade could look like instead of just, well, it's the same pick for every team.
So who says no? Type 3 for the Chiefs, type 4 for the Browns. And honestly, if you don't use the Weed Whacker from Manscaped, she might say no to you. So go to manscaped.com/chat where you're going to be able to save 20% off and get free shipping. The Weed Whacker. It is the best tool out there if you're trying to clean your ears, or also clean your nose. So, the reason why you should get this, ear hair, nose hair, it doesn't look good on anyone. In a survey, 89% of women said that they like their men to be cleanly shaven.
Sure it wasn't 69%?
It could be. That number is a great number, but I'm going to go with the higher number.
It's a nice number.
Here's a Snapple fact. 100% of women love Manscaped. You can get it here at the Weed Whacker, manscaped.com/chat. The Titans are marching in here at number 3 of Chris Jones' trade destinations, and sure, you could trade away Jarrell Casey, but they traded away Jarrell Casey.
Exactly. So they're looking for one more guy to help mainly get to the pasture. That could come in the edge rusher spot. They were linked to Clowney, remember that, and I think for the Titans, he'd probably line up on the inside of one of those edge rushers. But what if you got Chris Jones, and now on passing downs and your nickel sets and whatnot, you get rid of your nose guard there, Daquan Jones. Jeffrey Simmons, Chris Jones, hot take, you'd have the best interior defensive line in the NFL at the end of this year. Because that's how good Simmons is going to end up being.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now that I think he's healthy, which was one of my concerns, yeah, I'm in on Simmons. He was great last year.
Another hot take, Chat Sports is the best YouTube channel out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but I personally think so. If you're trying to stay up to date on the latest NFL news, rumors, what I want you to do is hit that sub button. You see that word more? Guess what? We do a lot more than just news and rumors as well. You're watching Chris Jones' destinations. You're like, man, that's a pretty cool video. Guess what? We've already made one on Dalvin Cook. So what I want you to do after the live show, or if you watch this on a later date, I want you to, after the video, go check out our Dalvin Cook trade destinations. Let us know what you think. But bottom line is, hit that subscribe button. It's time now to get into our top 2 teams, Tom. We got the Detroit Lions, and This is a team that really needs to be able to get after the quarterback.
I didn't do a trade package here. It might be a first-round pick straight up. And even then, maybe the Lions don't want to give that up, given some uncertainty around their quarterback's health. Detroit, deep down, they want to bring 4. They want to bring 4 guys and get to the quarterback with just those 4 and not have to bring a bunch of creative blitzes. That's what they did last year historically. The issue is they don't have the pieces to do that. Now, they're trying to get better at the cornerback spot to help that out. Trey Flowers can get you 7 sacks a season. Dan Shelton's a great run stopper. I threw Deshaun Hand in at defensive tackle, and he can play that role, play some defensive end too. But if you get Chris Jones on that team, now you're a little bit closer to having that interior pass rusher that you need to have to bring 4 guys and get home. So from a need perspective, the Lions make a lot of sense for Chris Jones because they need another legitimate body. They got the money to pay for him, and if they're willing to give the draft picks, maybe they can pull it off.
So before we give you our best fit for Chris Jones, I mean, come on, you guys know what we do here at Chat Sports. We want to know what you all have to say. So who is the best fit for Chris Jones? I want you to scroll on down and let us know in the comments section. Chris Jones trade destinations coming at you here by NFL Daily Chat Sports. At number 1, the Seattle Seahawks.
There was the report that they were looking for some more defensive tackle help, and Chris Jones would instantly come in and fix their biggest need. Now, for the most part, we've always said defensive end, pass rusher has been their biggest need.
Correct.
And Chris Jones would play defensive tackle in that 4-3 base defense for Seattle, but he would be their best pass rusher. Now, money-wise, you kind of got to get creative with the way you would structure a long-term deal, but you could make it work, especially if you extend him and don't trade for him after that July 15th franchise tag extension deadline. Now, LJ Collier, Rasheem Green can kick inside on some passing downs, but if you bring in Chris Jones on those obvious throwing downs, maybe you just roll with Jaron Reed and Chris Jones on the interior and hope that Collier or Taylor or Irvin ends up getting home a little bit more consistently. That makes sense for an organization, by the way, that has been willing to trade with the Chiefs before, too, Mitch.
So if you're a Seahawks fan, please subscribe to our channel, chatsports.com/SeahawksTV. More subs equals more videos. So here's Tom's trade idea. The Seahawks receive Chris Jones, the Chiefs 2021 first and a 2022 third-round pick. So who says no?
Balance out the picks over the couple of years there. I think my biggest concern from Seattle's side is, do they want to give up the draft picks involved? And in recent years, Frank Clark, Clowney, they've been hesitant to pay defensive linemen that caliber of money. But Chris Jones is better than those guys.
Yes.
He's a better player. Maybe they'd make the exception at that point since, they're willing to pay the linebacker big money too.